If I had a monkey's paw, I'd use it to wish for Bart to have psychic powers that he could use to make Mr. Burns invent a Mechano-Man for which he'd steal Homer's brain. That way, the episode's plot could come full circle. Alas, it's only a dream. Hi, I'm Torin, and welcome to Torin Loves the Simpsons. I'm here once again with the one and only Charles Urban, the resident horror expert round these parts. Because today, we're looking at Season 3, Episode 7, Treehouse of Horror 2. As I kinda indicated in the intro, this episode includes the Monkey's Paw segment, the one where Bart has gnarly powers, and the one where Burns steals Homer's brain and puts it in a cyborg. Let's dive on in with the first segment, aptly entitled The Monkey's Paw. Let's start with the humor. This segment is overall really good. There are plenty of nice moments throughout. I can do that, but I don't wanna. It's probably my favorite moment of the entire episode. It's delivered just right to capture that youthful desire to impress people even with shit you just made up. I guess that's what you'd call it. But yeah, the line is funny on its own, but its delivery takes it to the next level. There are some good early screw the audience jokes in here, like the fake out of the merchant stand disappearing and Homer's customs violation getting security all riled up for what turns out to be $2. Although that is $1991, so it's like 4.5 of our modern 2023 dollars. I really enjoy the meta humor around the family being rich and famous and the jokes about excessive merchandising. Marge and Homer singing "Man Smart, Woman Smarter" is so brash and over the top, and it really helps propel the joke. It leads to "Get a Mammogram, Man," which is over the top in a different way, a less in-your-face way, or maybe a less in-your-ears way. I guess I'm really more in tune with the auditory experience than with the visual experience, so that makes this last leg of the joke more of a thinker for me. I also love the juxtaposition of Kang and Kodos brandishing a club and a slingshot against the backdrop of a flying saucer. It's just so wacky to see these tentacled aliens emerging from a literal space vessel with such primitive and relatively non-threatening weapons. I mean, I'd be afraid of someone coming at me with a club or baseball bat or something, but not nearly as afraid as if they were coming at me with a gun. And the way Kodos bonks Mayor Quimby on the head to get him to shut up, it just punctuates that wackiness perfectly. And of course, we must not forget that the turkey's a little dry. I may have already named something else as my favorite joke of the episode, but this one is certainly the most memorable. I wouldn't call it a certified S-tier moment, but it deserves a place in the Hall of Fame of extremely memorable Season 3 jokes. But I think that's about it for me for this segment. I'm giving this segment's humor an A-. Charles, what about the horror for this segment?
This episode has some very inspired adaptions and clever references this time around, starting with the first and most obvious. Marge walks in with the classic shock of white in her hair, an unmistakable homage to the film The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. From then on, we are witness to 3 nightmare sequences, beginning with Lisa's nightmare and the tale of the monkey's paw. Originally written by W. Jacobs, The Monkey's Paw is a classic Three Wishes style story that doubles as a horror tale and cautionary telling, reminding us that the unintended consequences often accompany the best intentions. Bonus, as Bart mentions X-ray specs that really work, a spooky staple. Solid B rating for this segment, enjoyable take on the literary trope, and nice to see the aliens make an appearance.
The next segment is the Bart Zone. It's the one where Bart has psychic powers and terrorizes the entire town, but especially his family. The initial exposition of this segment's humor depends largely on the delivery by the characters, both visually and with regards to the voice acting. Take, for example, "It's good that you made that awful thing, Bart." Dan Castellaneta's voice delivery and the way Homer cringes visually as he says the word awful are really working in tandem here. These kinds of character moments really drive the beginning of this segment, and I think it generally works well. The Bonerland gag is alright on its own, but I really like how it persists throughout the segment, like when it's mentioned on the door of Marvin Monroe's office. This Moe prank call is probably one of the better ones, just for how over the top it is in length. All in all, I think this is a good, funny segment. Not great, but I'll give it a B+.
A reimagining of the 1961 Season 3, Episode 8 of The Twilight Zone, It's a Good Life. The original episode tells of a young boy with terrifying psychic abilities and no moral compass. He bends a small town to his every whim, and they all must abide with constant reassurances of, "It's real good you did that," for fear of being sent to the cornfield. And yes, he does indeed turn a man into a jack-in-the-box. Truly eagle-eyed viewers will also recognize the creature Bart turns Snowball 2 into bears resemblance to the creature the animator turns Daffy Duck into in the 1953 short Duck Amuck. I'll give this segment a B+ for an excellent Rod Serling impression.
Last up is If I Only Had a Brain, the one where Mr. Burns builds a cyborg that needs a human brain, so he steals Homer's, with disappointing results. This one is honestly the weakest of the three. It has some really solid moments, like Burns humming If I Only Had a Brain from Wizard of Oz as he nonchalantly scoops out Homer's brain with an ice cream scoop, a delightfully creepy moment. I also really like the delivery of Burns' line when he pleads with Smithers that they should skip putting Homer's brain back in his body because it's 11:45. But honestly, beyond that, this segment doesn't have a whole lot to talk about here. It's still strong enough for a B, though.
Finally, we have Homer's Nightmare, an obvious riff on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, with a splash of Mechagodzilla homage in the Mecha Homer inclusion. Truly remarkable how well the trio of Mr. Burns, Smithers, and Homer fit right into the archetypes of the Mad Doctor, Grisly Assistant, and Creature Creation, respectively. We hear Burns whistle If I Only Had a Brain, the first of two distinct Wizard of Oz references, the second being the line, "You clinking, clattering cacophony of caliginous cogs and camshafts," which was originally used as an insult to the Tin Man. And spoilers, the scene at the end where Mr. Burns' head is grafted onto Homer's body is a spoof of the film's premise, one body sharing two heads, in the 1972 film, The Thing with Two Heads. This is going to be a B-tier segment for my money.
And now it's time to look at the episode in its entirety. I'm gonna give the episode a B+ for humor. Charles, what about the horror rating?
Overall, a perfectly spooky good time. I think I'd have to rate the overall episode a solid B.
And now for the final rating. I'm gonna go with B+ overall. It's pretty good enough to keep the Treehouse of Horror series going, because who knows, at this point in the show they probably could have easily put a stop to it, but by no means are any of these classic Treehouse of Horror segments, and this is one I honestly don't find myself coming back to very often.
This has been Charles, Spots the Spooky, signing off.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Up next, we have Lisa's Pony, so I will see you in that video.